You know I'm never going to give up on you. I'm going to stay here and keep shooting videos until I'm an old lady. Maybe you think I'm an old lady now. There's no such thing as time. You know, we never were created, nor can we be destroyed. We always were, we always will be. So age is irrelevant. Are you holding back on anything in your life because you've put yourself in a box of limitations? I want to work with you today on your future self. I'm going to give you exercises. If you've taken my classes or you come on board with my monthly webinars, you know that we really hit the ground running with all these things. And today I want to pick one thing we're going to work on, and that is creating that future self. How do you do that? How does it work? Is it real or is it just pie in the sky? We're going to use science today, like I always do. All right, you ready? Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing, beautiful life. It exists. Every probability exists for you right now. Do you want to create a different life, a different way of thinking, a different body maybe? And I don't mean switching your current body. I mean just making yours the best it can be. In other words, healthy and fit and, just feeling happy. You can do it. You can do all these things. So even if you have challenges in life, you'll see them differently. But I want to start with one thing, and that is we're going to choose our future self. Now, why am I saying future? Because we're supposed to be living in the now. There's nothing but the now, all right? The past is really the now. Whatever you're creating now creates your past, right? Because what you did just now, is now the past. Oh, what I just said is now the past. And that's how we accumulate our future pathway. So when we pick our future self, we start to become that now, and then we progress into whatever that is for you. Right now, I want to ask you, who is that future self you would desire to be? Now, you could say, well, I'd like to pop into that right now, and you might be able to do that, but chances are pretty good. If you have a future self you're shooting for, chances are pretty good it's because you're not happy with what's going on right now. So there have to be some changes that we put into place, all right? So here's my question to you. What are those changes that you need to implement in order to get to the future self? Who is that future self? Let's write it down. You ready? Pull out a journal. If you're driving, of course, wait and replay this. What's that future self? Who is that? So write it down. Is it fit? Is it a happier self? Is it a peaceful self? Is it somebody who meditates every day? Is it somebody who is financially secure? Write down what that person is, who that person is. That is, of course, you in the role you chose. You don't want to be like a Kardashian, right? If you're not a Kardashian, and they have their own problems and issues too. We all come with them. So don't think there's any person out there that has an ideal life. Ideal is what you make it. So let's write down that ideal person that you desire to be. Who are you? What's the future self? Where does that future self live? How do they act? How do they think? What do they look like? How do they dress? Maybe you're letting yourself go a little bit because you're stuck inside and maybe there are things you can't do and you're not getting dressed up. Well, you know what? Every morning I get up and I put on a little makeup and I get myself all dressed up. I'm very comfortable. I'm not compromising my comfort, and it feels really good. So I'm a different person when I do this. Now, if I let myself go and I never put on makeup and then I would feel differently. It's a different energy field. So you have to explain to yourself on a piece of paper, explain to yourself, what this person is, who this person is, and why. Are they taking care of themselves better? Are they dressing better? What are they eating better? Maybe you have some habits you need to give up or desire to. I'm using the N word a lot today, need. But if you want to make changes, you need to do certain things to transfer into or transform into that future self. I can predict your future by talking to you. I can. And you can do the same thing. Now, it's tough when you do it for yourself. But a lot of times we imagine the future person as something that's untouchable or that you really aren't. That's not what we're doing today. We're going to choose the future self that you know you can be. If you want to lose weight, then you must decide that future self and what they're doing. Now, here's the second question I'm going to ask you. Are you willing to do what it takes to be that future self? So let's say you have to lose 50 pounds or something like that. Are you willing to change how you're eating, your exercise habits, all these other things that you are required to lose the weight and get fit? Are you willing to do that to be that self? Because this person who's 50 pounds later loves eating healthy and is very careful about that and gets exercise. If that's not what you're willing to do to get to that future self, then you have to set different goals and be happy with that. So let's say you just really love to eat a lot of food and whatever your thing is, not to be judged, but if that's, you got to remember, you have the consequences of all your decisions too. So if you are unhealthy or overweight or whatever's going on, there's potentially health effects, bad health effects that are going to come from that. We are in a material world, density, and we do live by certain rules. Somebody might say, well, I can just manifest an amazing body. No, that's not how it works. You came here to create this physical journey, to experience what it's like to have to make decisions that aren't so easy and physically have to execute them. That's part of it. Those are the rules. I know there's no real rules, but you know what I'm saying. There's things in place for us to play the game. And the game is you have to do certain things to achieve certain goals. So what are you willing to do? Am I willing to do certain things to achieve that wealth? Or, maybe it's just abundance. It doesn't have to be wealth is your definition. That really healthy relationship, well, that means maybe you have to love yourself now. And ask yourself why you'd put up with any kind of relationship that doesn't respect you. Well, that comes from you. So there's changes that must be made. So write down the changes that must be made. I need to love myself more. I need to take care of my body better. I need to eat better. I need to put an exercise program in place. I need more skills. You guys have seen this. New skills to go after that higher paying job or contracting online. We learn how skills that get us jobs online, contract jobs online, plus our own online businesses, doing things we love. So what does that take? This isn't always fun, by the way. You have to come over and learn the new skills to become this person who has the higher paying job, who can seek out other jobs because now you qualify. And that's the fun part. It's fun. So don't think, I just want to win the lottery or whatever. We know that that's not your journey. Your journey is to expand and transform. Name that higher self. I'm going to predict your higher self future. And that is whatever you're willing to do here to get there is going to make that happen. And when you set these goals, what does it take to be that person? If you're not doing this, you will never get there. It's impossible. Because that person would never act this way. The healthy person would never eat that stuff. Or, whatever it is you want to do. This person in a great relationship would never put up with bad behavior from another person, or would value themselves, or would learn how to take care of themselves so they're never relying on somebody else for the wrong reasons. You know what it takes. You don't need me to tell you what it is. You know exactly what it takes to become that person. And if you don't have all the answers, the more you work on being that person, the more the answers will come to you, because there's a lot of learning. A lot of you that can't understand why you're not abundant, you have to learn how to be abundant. You have to learn that because you're programmed maybe to always believe that you aren't worthy, or that it's difficult to be abundant, or whatever you've told yourself. So you have to learn how to be that person and change that thinking. All right. So it will take time for you to get there. This person would never think that way. So you have to go into the learning mode and put real effort every day into what it takes to shift into that and learn how to be the abundant person. How do they think? They don't think it's a big deal to go in and buy whatever they want. And if you're thinking, I can't have that, or that's too expensive, or whatever, so then you ask yourself, that is not how my future self would think. So you have to ask yourself, where are those thoughts coming from, and start reprogramming yourself and saying, you know what? I can have anything I desire. I'm in the process of creating that. I'm getting the new skills. I'm learning things. I'm, looking for that higher paying job, and I'm going to walk in there and be that person. What does it take to be that person? And you get to choose. Are you ready to go into that space? It's possible. What are you doing right now? I look at this time period that we have as the most amazing thing for all of us to explore our own inner being and our goals, and to go into that quiet space where in, a year, 2 years, we're going to come out of this, and I'm going to ask you, what did you do with that time? And you think, geez, now I'm really busy. I could have written the book or the songs or created a business or whatever it was, and you could be doing that right now. This is not a negative thing. It's a challenge, yes, but there are good things that come from that. And then you can be the person that makes the positive change on this planet, if that's part of your goal, if that's who you want to be. It's all possible. Please subscribe to my channel. We're going to explore more and more things, more steps for you, more practical, real, concrete steps for you to make major changes right now and not get caught up in what's going on out there. Technology can be used for amazing things or to put fear in other people. And if you're watching it or creating it, well, that's not the new earth. You get to choose. Come on over and join my Manifest Anything free video series. Every week you get video and guidance from me. You get invited to classes and webinars, all kinds of things. It takes some reprogramming. So we need teachers to do that, right? And so if that's what you need, come on over and I'll be here for you. But you have to take the steps and the action. No more blaming the world. You're totally in charge. You are amazing, powerful, unlimited light being. We're going to talk about the higher self in my next video. What is it? How do you access it? Because it's unlimited, mind-blowing power. You ready to go there? All right, so again, sign up for the free videos. If you want to explore different ways to earn online, get those skills, go down and sign up for my Manifesting free video series. Please subscribe, please share these. And if you want to be notified of my videos coming out, I put them out every 1 or 2 days, then click the little bell and you'll be notified, because we're all in this together, and I want to be here for you to raise the frequency of the planet one light being at a time. You're whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.